White, orange, and teal. The physical real, you know it's a deal. It's blood, sweat, and tears. All up in his huddle with water to cook up a meal. My coaching into it, the combo was chill. Play action to chase, got hunger to feel. The cheetah is loose, he's going for blood. The end of the race only went for the kill. Miami, the city, the county, the block. We steady impact, tail in the lot. Defense is strong and hard as a rock. Holland's a lock, and next one's a spot. Getting too hot, so turn up the fan. You look to the crowd, see Jimmy and Bam. Martin, Joe, and Sosa the mans. Your fellas, roll the clip, only fans.
What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to OnlyFans, a Dolphins post-game show presented by Sports with Soso. I'm your host, Joel, aka the Delusional Dolphin, and with me as always, I got the boys, I got the crew, I got Soso, the host of Sports with Soso with me. What's going on, So?
What up, what up? That call me Jet Life So, baby.
Yes, sir. You're fresh off an airplane. You're back. And speaking of back, we got Tune Out Martin himself from the All Fin podcast. We haven't had you here in a while, brother, but it's good to have you back. Yeah, man, it's good to have you back, brother. People were asking what's going on with Martin.
Nothing much, man. I was able to see the exact same depressing loss as you guys, so I don't know how much better I can be.
Yeah, man, it's been a rough go, man. These last 5 weeks have definitely been pretty pitiful for Dolphins fans. I mean, typical Dolphins season per usual. You know what I mean? I'm starting to come around on that sentiment. Unfortunately, here we are sitting at 500 after this loss against the Patriots, man. We go into Foxborough in another must-win situation, and we come up just short against the Patriots, 23-21. Martin, I haven't had you on the show in a while, man. So let me get your initial reaction just to this game.
Overall, the first half, it didn't look horrible. We didn't move the ball as well, obviously, as you want, but it looks like the offense was getting it done for the most part. The defense stuck it in there. Mac Jones didn't have a really good game. I think we were winning at halftime in time possession, yards, everything. So you got what you wanted in the first half from a backup.
Yeah.
But obviously it fell apart in the end of the third quarter when Teddy threw that interception, gets hurt on the same play. The rest, that
was brutal right there. We're gonna get into all that in just a second there. So how about you, man? What's your initial reaction to this debacle?
For me, man, it really has to do with how we have looked towards the end of the season. You know, something that we talked about before while the season was progressing was that we wanted to see this team have some type of momentum, winning games in December, in November, heading into the playoffs with some type of momentum. And what we've seen is a complete opposite. It leaves more questions than answers. And at this point in the season, that shit sucks.
It does. There are tons of questions around this team, including, are we going to make the postseason? You know, we still have our fate in our hands, but you know, you look at a game like today where going into this game, we have our main positions were all inactive, right? All our main guys. So we're without Tua as he's in concussion protocol. We don't know if he's going to play the last week at home against the Jets. Teron Armstead, our best offensive lineman, inactive for this game. Xavier Howard, our best cornerback, whatever that means, inactive as well for this game. And you know, we were very thin, very thin to begin with. You know, we needed to be able to get the ball on the ground, rush, you know, effectively, and we did that. To, like Martin was saying, man, that first half, man, it was what we wanted to see from these Dolphins. I mean, and it's kind of like the same thing the last couple of weeks, right? And, you know, against last week against the Packers, and then the week before that when we played the Bills, you know, we had good first halves, but again, man, the second half we just can't close it out. And
but can I tell you something?
Yeah, dude, go for it.
Besides frustrating, what's troubling is that even with or without Tua, the offense has looked the same. The team has looked the same, right? The situations have been the same, where either the Dolphins are ahead, we have a chance to be ahead, we got a fourth lead headed into the fourth quarter, we're building some momentum, and then things happen to fall apart. This is classic Miami Dolphins like behavior, right? Do really good in September and in October, and then when crunch time starts to hit, we see this team fall down for whatever reason. And for me, I thought that it was going to be different with Mike McDaniel, but obviously what we're seeing in these past 5 games has shown that regardless of really who's playing, the outcome is going to be the same, because there's just no spark there. There's no, I don't know what to call it, some type of energy, but whatever you're seeing on TV doesn't look like we're as aggressive, as fun as we were seeing in the beginning of the season. This is another close game that we lost, guys. Like,
Another one.
it's whack.
Another and another road loss at that. They're piling up, man.
I will say, obviously, the whole thing you're bringing up obviously makes sense. It doesn't look like a system that's gelled together. A bunch of players just going out there to play. Because other than the D line, do you really see any pumped up players out there after 5 losses? Can you blame them though? It's obviously the playoffs are still there. They're in grasp.
Playoff time, dog.
No, they're in reach. But I'm sorry, they're humans. 4 games in a row they lost prior to this one. You're like, bro, we're just trying to get it done. But yeah, obviously
no.
having
I big time disagree because again, every week, last 3 weeks for the very part, these last 3 weeks, right, have been playoff game, playoff scenario, playoff level, whatever you want to call it. It's not about getting into the playoffs. It's what the game is calling for at the moment. Playoff stakes, and this team is getting it done for whatever reason. And obviously it's not McDaniels, but
no, man, and McDaniels I think is doing a good job, man. I think McDaniels is working, with what he has. I mean, looking back early on in the game, there was a situation where we were in a 4th and 1, and he decided he wanted to go for it. We were in our own territory, and he didn't want to punt the ball away. And I was like, it's kind of early in the game here, coach. You sure you want to be doing that? But no, he wants to do that. Guess what happens? False start on Robert Hunt, bring the ball back 5 yards. Now it's like, all right, we're going to punt the ball. And then another penalty happens there. It's 4th and 1 again. McDaniel says, well, I was going to do it a second ago on 4th and 1. We're going to do it right now. And we managed to go ahead and get the ball on the ground with Jeff Wilson, convert that 4th down. Little things like that tells me, like, McDaniels, he does got it, man. This team, we have pieces. We have flashes. We've been talking about it all year. That D-line, love what Wilkins is doing with Phillips and with Zach Skylar. Love what those guys are doing. Oh, another guy that was inactive this week that I forgot to mention was Brad Chubb. Another one of our pass rushers, which sucks. But, man, that secondary, man, and when we got our best guys, Cater Coe, stepping in for Xavier Howard, and then you got guys like Keon Crossan and Noah Ibanabi, filling in behind them. It's like, what's really, what do we really expect from these guys that we haven't really seen all season for the most part?
But that's why I'm saying. At the end of the day, when you're down most of your players, you're not. I'm not. That's what I'm trying to say. I don't see the confidence out there because of all the lack of depth we've had. This game for sure, and then obviously losing Tua. I'm sure there's a locker room full of believers in him. And not having him out there, maybe having your backup 3rd string playing, you're like, can we actually get it done or not? There's no spark given by the lack of depth that we've had. And I'm think about it. That's most of your captains: Armstead, Howard, Tua. Like those are the guys. I'm guessing they look to bring a spark. Hill obviously has to depend on the quarterback. Waddle has to depend on the quarterback. Obviously, we've seen without Tua, their stats aren't normally there. Without him, the run game was, it was subpar, but better than horrible. I can't really say it was that bad.
I don't know if we can say that it wasn't horrible because you're right. It wasn't horrible, but it was bad. Right? It was bad. This game got away from us. And one thing that I noticed, especially in the second half, was that, if we focus on the best part of our defense, which is our defensive line, there were times in that second half where we couldn't even get to Mac Jones. Yeah, we could have been creating some pressure, and they were covering downfield, and we're close pocket on him, not allowing him to escape. Ultimately, he makes a bad throw, incomplete pass, whatever. But the sacks, they weren't there for me. Also, you look at the turnover battle. We lose it yet again. No interceptions. They have 2 interceptions on the day.
Well, now that you mentioned that, now that you mentioned the interceptions, do we all agree that was the turning point for this game? Was the pick 6 that Teddy Bridgewater threw?
Yeah, of course.
Facts.
Of course. Yeah.
I mean, because up until that point, we were still, it was a 1-possession game, or we were ahead of possession, right? I think we were up like 3 points or something like that, and then they went out ahead with that. That completely changed the rest of the game for us.
Yeah, and you know what? At this point, we got to say that whole Teddy Bridgewater experiment, move, whatever you want to call it, was a complete failure. Complete failure.
I wouldn't say failure.
I wouldn't say complete failure. Yeah,
Brought him as a
exactly.
backup.
Like we brought him
No,
in for that, and bro, up until that pick six, like Teddy looked good, and then to add insult to injury, or in this case to add injury to insult, not only is it a pick six, but he gets hurt in the process. His hand, there's potential broken finger going on right now, and he's not able to get back in the game because he can't grip the ball. So then late in the third quarter for the rest of the game, we get Skylar Thompson, who doesn't really have a rhythm, doesn't really get, the chance to really get anything going, even though he made a couple good plays, made some plays with his legs and found some open receivers, but he also missed a lot of reads and missed a lot of open receivers late in the game.
Yeah, but that's
not his fault, though.
That's all timing, I feel.
Correct.
A rookie quarterback coming in, 7th round pick. I think any time he's ever played has been with minimal reps, unless it was that Vikings game, which he got hurt. Literally, that's the only game this season he's actually come in. He had a practice and played great the first quarter, gets hurt. I think that will be the change. Obviously, we saw the outcome of the Jets game. We saw the outcome of, I think the Ravens are winning right now. If somehow he can get a week of practice, and I don't know, first of all, I don't know why Bridgewater was starting this game. That was another thing, but whatever. If Skylar Thompson gets a week of practice, I think we'll get a different outcome. The Jets are a very good defense, just like the Patriots. But we're playing at home. I'm not really scared of Mike White. So I do think that Skylar Thompson gets a week of practice and looks a lot better, even though he got his rhythm at the end of the game. It was one touchdown, whatever. But
and he had one pick that was not his fault. It was Tyreek Hill bobbling it. So I mean, the kid. I mean, we saw what he did in the preseason. We knew. What we got when we kept him, when we didn't let him go, right? We kept him on the roster. So who knows, with a whole week of preparation, what he can do against the Jets. But we're going to need his A game because there's no Teddy next week and there's really no Tua. They're eyeing Tua returning, in the first week of the playoffs if we make it that far.
And the other thing, and that drive that he got through the interception, he actually got a first down on the 3rd and 15 or 2nd and 15. He ended up getting a first down, and then they called it back because of the legal formation
on Tyreek.
Shift.
Yeah, which Tyreek, man, Tyreek has had a couple of those in the last couple of weeks. Is not very like him. I don't know if that's a situation where he's trying to do more than he can to try to give us that spark. But not a lot of Tyreek today. Not a lot of Waddle. We did see a little bit of Gesicki once Skylar Thompson got in.
Two catches.
We did it. Well, one of them was a touchdown.
Yeah, but
no gritty though from Gesicki. So I think everybody's happy that we didn't have to start off 2023 with that ugly ass gritty.
Let me tell you something though. Back to the Skylar Thompson thing. I gotta let you guys know. Yeah, he's a 7th rounder coming in, whatever. But if you look at a team that we played and had a 7th rounder, last pick of the game, come in and how that kid has played, I feel like that's the bar, right? Skylar Thompson has to show me that he can do at least what Brock Purdy does and manage a game. Full week of practice, like you said, he's got to go out there and show something because this, again, if Skylar Thompson is better than Teddy B, which I think he is, right? I think he is, then that leads back to the Teddy Bridgewater being a complete failure because ultimately we brought him in to win games when Tua, if and would go out. It happened. And both times that he had the chance, or 3 times that he had the chance, he's failed to look good and failed to win us any games. So to me, that's a complete failure on our part. We found our backup quarterback, which is Skylar Thompson, and I think with the week practice, like Martin said, he should be a lot better and show that he's better than Teddy B.
And this is going to be his opportunity. If he gets the opportunity, the only thing that sucks is that for some reason I feel like Bridgewater is going to be okay next week, and then he's going to get the reps. And then
not if he has a broken finger.
Oh, they already said it?
No, I mean that's the rumor right now.
But I'm sure it's broken, dude.
He couldn't grip. He was in the tent trying to grab the ball without the glove. He just couldn't grip the ball. And if he can't grip the ball, there's no ball security there. You're a liability in the pocket. You know what I mean?
He probably won't even be able to practice, truth be told, right?
Yeah.
And you could the other thing is that I feel like he opens up the pass game a little more than Bridgewater too, and he's mobile, unlike Bridgewater showing nowadays. So I feel like if our O-line and Armstead's not back, I'm feeling a little more confident going into week 18 for the playoffs with Skylar. He again, man, the timing isn't there. In this game as a backup, if you have years under your belt, the timing, you'll manage. But when you're a rookie quarterback, you saw exactly what a rookie quarterback is going to bring you. Coming in late in the game, he didn't even get a full Purdy's game that he came in versus us. He literally came in the second drive or something like that. He got a full whole game's worth of reps. So
True.
and
But
again, go ahead.
But he went out after that and continued to perform. So I'm hoping that's what Skylar can at least do.
Yeah,
We
let's
need
see.
it.
I feel like even McDaniel shows that he has more faith in Skylar, because I feel like we even throw the ball more with when that short span of time he was there. Although obviously we're playing down, we saw a lot more run game with Bridgewater, and let's see. Let's see. It's a. I'm not confident. I haven't been confident for the last few weeks, but you know,
that's what I was gonna get at. You guys know I'm as delusional as they get. You know what I mean? But I mean, even with a full week of practice for Skylar Thompson, I can't say that I have confidence in this team next week against the Jets at home. You know, the Jets obviously are having their issues. They're on a 5-game losing streak just like us. But
they would want nothing more than just take us out with them.
That's what they're playing for. Yeah, we're playing for the playoffs, but they're playing to knock us out of the playoffs. So we got to see, you know, who's going to be our quarterback next week. Who else is going to be, you know, active or inactive? You know, do we get Chubb back? Do we get Howard back? Is Tehran playing? You know, we got a lot of question marks around next week and the final week of the season potentially. But man, besides that, you know, I can't wait to get to our 3 and out. Because I don't want to jump the gun. I have my bruh moment of the game in mind, and I don't know if I should jump the gun and just spill it right now because I really feel like this bruh moment killed all the momentum of the game for us, man. Even after the pick 6.
Then you know what? Let's get into our 3 and out, which is presented to you by Empire Boutique. Check this out, man. They're one of the greatest local suppliers that we have of fresh new clothes. Make sure to check them out. They keep the squad right here, dripped out on OnlyFans. So check them out on Instagram, Empire BTQ. Now, this 3 and out is where we bring you our bruh moment of the game, our underwhelming performer of the game, and of course the aqua and orange to look forward to next week. Joel, I know you're ripping and rearing, ready to go. Give us your bro moment of the game.
Oh man, late in the game, 4 minutes left. They're driving. They throw a pass up to Jacoby Myers, and one of the worst coverages I've ever seen from a Dolphins defensive back. Keon Crossan, what are you doing, my guy? Just blatantly, bro. Like it was such a bad defensive pass interference that, like, you know how you get like the referee will be like all dramatic, bro. He just fired it from the hip. He just kind of like threw it. He was like, bro, that's so blatant that he didn't even put any oomph in it, and then that sets them up ultimately for their game-winning score, man. So that's my bro moment.
You didn't see the referee go.
Yeah,
kind of like, what do you want to do?
What do you want me to do, bro? Like, seriously, did you see how bad of a cover that was? I don't know about you guys, but that was my bro moment.
That was a good bro moment. What about you, Mario? What's your bro moment of the game?
Prior to this game starting, I already had my bro moment. I didn't like Teddy Bridgewater starting this week. I really didn't. I honestly felt like giving Skylar 2 weeks of possibly even going to the playoffs. I felt like that should have been the starting, and McDaniel got it for me.
For sure. My bro moment of the game has to be that Teddy Bridgewater pass. I don't know what the hell that was, but he threw one deep downfield where nobody else was.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
And we're so lucky that defensive backs are defensive backs, because that ball hit McCourtney in the face.
And right in the numbers.
No, in the face, literally in the helmet, and he couldn't catch it.
And that was only one of a couple instances that we got away with one. Because if you guys recall, first drive of the game, Raheem Mostert fumbled the ball, and they called it a stop and forward progress, which was a slap in the face to the Patriots, who lost the game like that the week before, which is crazy.
It's crazy, man. Let's get to our underwhelming performer of the game. I'm going to kick this one off with, not surprising, Teddy B. I felt like his whole time down here in Miami has been a complete waste. We brought this guy to at least win us one game while Tua will be out. Wouldn't be able to manage that. This guy sucks. What about you, Mario? Who's the overwhelming performer of the game?
I kind of agree with you, but I can't say it was Teddy B. I think it was our corners. Our corners didn't come to play today. You don't expect Mac Jones to do anything versus you. He had a couple successful plays. One should have been an incomplete. The one early on to Thornton that ended up setting up their first touchdown. But yeah, the corners didn't come to play to me.
Yeah. What about you, Joel?
I'm gonna double down. So Keon Crossen, man. Keon Crossen. Not only does he get the bro moment, but he's my underwhelming performance of the game. One tackle all game for that guy, bro. Which
The
means
same
guys were
number
getting,
that Tyreek Hill has.
yeah, which means guys were getting past him and other guys like Javon Holland, who got hurt in this game and had to come back in. Shout out to Javon Holland, bro. That guy is our best defensive back, bro. Secondary player. But Keon Crossen, man, he just didn't get it done for us, and I don't see that guy in a Dolphins uniform next year. Sorry, buddy.
Good. Let's get to the aqua and orange lining for next week. Martin, you kick it off, brother.
We still have a chance to make the playoffs. That's literally no. Other than that, there is no silver lining. Like there's nothing I see in this game, and I get to see Skylar Thompson week 18. That's about it,
man. For me, the aqua and orange lining is the fact that we are gonna see Skylar Thompson play. You know why? Because I'm tired of seeing Teddy B F up games and pretty much cost us positioning in the playoffs or even making it. So, Joel, go ahead and wrap this up, buddy, and give us your aqua and orange lining for next week.
It's in the same sentiment, man. I mean, as bad as it is, the streaks, 3 wins, 3 losses, 5 wins, 5 losses. Here we are sitting at 8-8. Yeah, I was very adamant this team, was going to be above 10 wins this year, and that's not going to happen this year. There's a lot of bad, a lot of ugly, some good, but it's hard to remember the good when it's been so long that you've had it. But that is the only aqua and orange lining about all this, is the fact that there's still a chance for this Dolphins team to make the playoffs. And if the Dolphins make the playoffs, no matter what happens in the playoffs, in my opinion, at least it gets remembered that, hey, we made the playoffs, and then we can at least build off of that for next year. But if we don't, boy, this is going to be one real sad, delusional fan.
I mean, for sure, playoffs, making the playoffs is the goal, right? We said it before the season. And we're at this point now where we can still make the playoffs. If Mike McDaniel can successfully make it to the playoffs in his first year with all this shit that's happened, I gotta give him his props. You know what I mean? Especially as a guy who was doubting his ability to come here and do something for us. But in order for us to get into the playoffs, something is gonna have to change, and that's drastically. Points given up by the Dolphins in these last 5 games that we've lost: 27.4. Points scored, averaging 20.8. That's gotta flip. That's got to flip.
It's not going to win games for you, man. Martin,
I'm going to sound like Joel for a moment. We won 3, lost 3, right? Won 5, lost 5.
Oh,
we're going to the Super Bowl and we're going to win.
Oh, my God. You're going to make me drink all this shit right now.
We're going undefeated the rest of the season. That's it.
Hey, I'm going to drink this right now.
New year, new Martin, baby. I like it. Oh, man.
But no, hey, man, if we can pull off this win, I think we're either gonna play the Jaguars or the Ravens if we win and make the playoffs, something like that.
We'll be ahead. We'll be ahead either way in those matchups, because neither matchup will scare us. But we got to get in there, man. We got to get in there.
Hold on, not the Ravens. I think it's the Bengals. Oh, no, never mind. I don't.
Hold on, I'll check right now.
I'm looking at it now. Yeah, you got the Chiefs and the Bills are the 1 and the 2. Then you got the Bengals on 3, the Jaguars, and then the Ravens after that. So I think it would come down to one of those guys. But guys, let's not get ahead of ourselves.
No, we
can do this next week's episode. For right now, we want to make sure that our guys get healthy. We need as many guys as we have at our disposal. Next week against the Jets back at home, where we may be doing, after that game, the final OnlyFans of the season. Hopefully not. I hope it's the final regular season OnlyFans, and then we can start a new chapter as the playoff OnlyFans. But man, boys, it's been fun. I appreciate you guys. Thank you guys for jumping on as always. I know it's a late here on a Sunday after a long weekend, New Year's weekend. But as always, this has been a great time. Any final words before we jump off?
Subscribe to the channel, baby.
That's it. Subscribe to the
Skylar
channel.
Thompson, 3 touchdowns.
Super Bowl.
305 on the yards.
305 yards and 3 touchdowns. I like that. All right, boys. Well, thank you guys so much. Thank you for everybody for tuning in. Make sure, again, to subscribe, like, comment, tell a friend to tell a friend, all that good stuff. And until next time, y'all. Peace.